Girl, can I talk to you for a minute? Because I see you. I see the weight you've been carrying, the late nights, the hard lessons, the times you thought you wouldn't make it. But guess what? You're still here. Not just here, but rising. And honey, it's time to fix your crown. I know sometimes it feels like you're still that scared girl from the past, the one who didn't believe she was enough. But hear me now. You're not who you used to be. That girl, she's been tested, tried, and transformed. You've been through storms, and you walked out stronger, wiser, more fierce than ever before. So why do you hesitate to hold your head high? Why do you let doubt whisper lies about your worth? It's time to silence that noise, because you are royal. You were made for greatness, for love, for peace. And you deserve to sit in that throne every day. Fix your crown, girl. Adjust that invisible tiara of strength, resilience, and grace. Because each time you do, you're declaring to the world and to yourself, I am not who I was yesterday. I am a queen in motion, growing, healing, and glowing. Let go of the old you, the fears, the regrets, the things that held you back. She taught you something, yes, but she no longer rules your story. You're the author now, and your pen is dripping with power. So stand tall, speak boldly, walk confidently, because the woman you've become is unstoppable. You're a force, a light, a beacon for every girl who's watching and waiting to see if it's possible. And girl, it is. You're proof. Fix your crown, wear it proud, because this is your season. Your time to shine, to lead, and to love yourself fiercely. You're not who you used to be. You're better. Now go on, show up and show out. There's something truly beautiful about growth. It's not always easy to see in the moment, especially when you're standing in the middle of struggle or facing a mountain that seems too steep to climb. But growth, that quiet, steady unfolding of your soul, is happening even when you don't realize it. I want you to know that your story is not defined by where you started or by the broken places you once carried. No, your story is defined by how far you've come and the strength you've gathered along the way. You have changed. You might not see it every day, but you have been transformed in ways that matter deeply. You are not the same girl who once felt invisible, unheard, or unworthy. That girl, the one who doubted herself, who tried to fit into spaces that were never meant for her, who carried the weight of expectations that weren't hers to bear. She has been refined. Not erased, but refined. You took her lessons, you looked her in the eye, and you said, thank you for the struggle, but I'm moving forward. When you embrace your growth, you accept that your past was a classroom, not a prison. You no longer let your history define your identity. The mistakes, the pain, the moments of weakness, they were part of your education, but they are not the diploma you carry today. You've graduated from those old versions of yourself, and you're stepping into a new chapter with eyes wide open, heart softened, and spirit strengthened. Sometimes we get stuck thinking about who we were, longing for the comfort of familiarity, even if it wasn't good for us. But growth is uncomfortable, it's messy, it forces us to shed layers of fear, doubt, and shame like an old skin that no longer fits, and yes, that process hurts. It feels like breaking down before you can build up. It means walking away from toxic relationships, toxic mindsets, and toxic environments. It means learning to say no when you used to say yes, and setting boundaries where none existed before. It means looking at yourself in the mirror and acknowledging the scars without letting them define your beauty. When you embrace your growth, you start to recognize your resilience. You start to see that every tear you shed watered a seed of courage inside you. Every rejection was not a sign of failure, but a redirection towards something better. Every time you got back up after falling, you proved to yourself that you are stronger than you thought. Your growth is a testimony of survival, of persistence, of an unyielding spirit that refuses to be broken. You have become a living example of hope, not just for yourself, but for everyone who watches your journey, and I want you to lean into that truth. You may still have days when you doubt yourself, when the old voices whisper that you're not enough, but you have the power to silence those lies with the truth of your progress, because the truth is this: you are evolving. You are changing. You are growing. Embracing your growth means giving yourself grace. It means celebrating your wins, no matter how small. It means acknowledging the progress in the hard moments when it feels like you've taken 2 steps back. Growth is not linear, and it's not always visible from the outside. Sometimes it happens deep within, in the quiet moments when you choose forgiveness over bitterness, peace over chaos, love over fear. Think about the ways you've already grown. Maybe you've learned to speak up for yourself when before you stayed silent. Maybe you've found the courage to leave a situation that no longer served your peace. Maybe you've learned to love your body, your mind, your soul in ways that were once impossible. These are not small victories. These are the milestones of your evolution. They are the markers that show you're moving forward, even when the road feels long and winding. When you embrace your growth, you start to live differently. You begin to make choices that align with the woman you're becoming, not the girl you once were. You protect your peace because you know it's precious. You surround yourself with people who uplift and inspire you, not those who drain your energy. You invest in your dreams, your passions, your healing. You give yourself permission to outgrow old habits and old relationships without guilt or shame. And girl, that is powerful. There is nothing more revolutionary than a woman who knows her worth and refuses to settle for less than she deserves. There's nothing more beautiful than someone who can look back at her past and say, "Thank you for the lesson, but I am not staying here." Your growth is your power. It is your voice. It is your story rewritten with purpose and intention. So as you walk through your days, remember to pause and honor the journey you've been on. Look back and see not just the struggle, but the strength that rose from it. See the girl who made mistakes, yes, but also the woman who has learned to forgive herself and keep going. See the woman who's building a life rooted in hope, faith, and courage. You've been growing even when you felt stuck. You've been changing even when you felt lost, and all that growth is evidence that you are alive and thriving. It's the reason you can stand taller today, speak louder, and love deeper. Your growth is not just a phase, it's a transformation. It's a promise to yourself that you will keep evolving, keep pushing, keep reaching for the fullness of who you were always meant to be. So embrace it, celebrate it, own it. Owning your worth is one of the most revolutionary acts you can commit to in your life. It sounds simple, but it runs deep. It requires you to look inside and recognize the value that has always been inside you, even when the world tried to convince you otherwise. To own your worth means you stop shrinking yourself to fit into someone else's expectations. It means you stop apologizing for your dreams, your voice, your presence. It means you begin to understand that your life is precious, your story matters, and your existence carries weight. For too long, maybe you let others decide how much you were worth. Maybe you looked in the mirror and saw only your flaws because that's what you had been conditioned to believe. Maybe you stayed in relationships, jobs, or environments that told you you weren't enough, and you believed it. But that was never the truth. Your worth was never dependent on someone else's approval or validation. It was always inside you, waiting for you to claim it. Owning your worth is a radical act of self-love. It's standing tall in a world that often tries to tear you down and declaring, "I am valuable, I am enough, I deserve respect." When you own your worth, you refuse to accept anything less than what honors your spirit. You no longer settle for crumbs when you deserve a feast. You no longer accept the side door when you were meant to walk through the front entrance with confidence. It takes courage to own your worth because it means confronting the lies you've believed about yourself. It means peeling back the layers of doubt and fear and stepping into the light of who you truly are. It means saying no to things that don't serve your growth or peace, even if saying no feels uncomfortable or lonely at first. But that discomfort is temporary. The freedom that comes from owning your worth is permanent. When you own your worth, you protect your peace fiercely. You recognize that your energy is sacred and you guard it with intention. You don't let toxic words, actions, or people steal your joy. You create boundaries that honor your well-being. Boundaries are not walls to keep people out. They are fences to protect your garden, your soul, your dreams. Owning your worth also means giving yourself permission to pursue your passions unapologetically. It means chasing your goals with tenacity, knowing you deserve success and happiness. It means not waiting for someone else to give you permission to shine because you are already a light. You don't need anyone's validation to know your value. Your worth is inherent, built into your very being. This journey is not about arrogance or pride, it's about truth and authenticity. It's about recognizing that you were created with purpose and that your presence in this world matters deeply. When you own your worth, you stop comparing yourself to others because you understand that your journey is unique. You stop trying to fit into molds that were never meant for you because you embrace your individuality. You celebrate your strengths, your quirks, your scars, and your victories. You begin to speak kindly to yourself because you understand the power of your own words. You become your own biggest cheerleader instead of your harshest critic. You give yourself grace on the hard days and celebrate yourself on the good ones. You stop waiting for outside sources to fill you up because you have learned to fill your own cup first. Owning your worth also means you become a beacon for others who need to see it too. When you walk confidently in your value, you inspire those around you to do the same. Your strength becomes a lighthouse guiding others out of the darkness of self-doubt. Your story of owning your worth can ignite hope in someone who thought they were invisible or unworthy. But make no mistake, owning your worth is a daily practice. It's something you have to remind yourself of every morning when you wake up. It's the choice you make every time you look in the mirror and decide to see the beauty, the strength, and the light within you. It's the courage to silence the negative voices that try to tell you otherwise. It's the decision to keep moving forward even when the world tries to dim your shine. Sometimes owning your worth means standing alone. Sometimes it means making tough choices that leave people wondering why you changed. But remember, the people who truly love and respect you will celebrate your growth and cheer you on. The ones who don't support your journey were never meant to walk beside you anyway. When you own your worth, you stop apologizing for who you are. You stop trying to be what others want you to be. You embrace your true self, the beautiful, complicated, imperfect, and powerful woman who is growing into her destiny. You know your value is not in what you do, how you look, or what you have, but simply in who you are, and owning your worth is freeing. It gives you the power to live boldly, to love deeply, to dream without limits. It gives you the strength to say yes to yourself and no to anything that threatens your peace. It fills your heart with the confidence that you were made for something greater, and it's time to step into that truth with your whole self. When you own your worth, you realize that your voice matters, your dreams matter, your life matters. You become unstoppable because you are no longer living for approval but for purpose. You no longer settle for less but demand what you deserve. You no longer hide in the shadows but shine brightly, unapologetically, and authentically. Owning your worth means you are done with self-neglect, self-doubt, and self-sabotage. You begin to nurture your soul with kindness, with patience, and with love. You begin to honor your needs and desires. You begin to treat yourself as the queen you are, not as a servant to anyone's expectations. This is your invitation to claim your worth fully and fearlessly. To stand in the truth that you are enough just as you are, to refuse to let anyone else dictate your value, to live from a place of power and peace, knowing that your worth is unshakable, unbreakable, and eternal. Releasing the old you is one of the most necessary yet hardest steps on the journey to becoming who you were always meant to be. It's not just about change, it's about transformation. It's about looking at the parts of yourself that no longer serve you, no longer bring you peace, and no longer align with your purpose, and having the courage to let them go. The old you, the one who carried burdens, wore masks, held onto pain and regret. She was necessary for a season, but she is not your forever. So many times we hold on to the past like it's a lifeline. We clutch old identities, old stories, old hurts, thinking if we let go, we will lose a part of ourselves. But the truth is, you don't lose yourself when you release what weighs you down. You find yourself. You find freedom. You find space to grow, to breathe, to become. The old you might have been shaped by circumstances that were painful or limiting, circumstances that whispered lies about your worth, your potential, your future. Maybe the old you was scared, uncertain, or unsure. Maybe she allowed others to define her, to put her in a box that never fit. But she did the best she could with what she knew at the time. She was your survival mode, your protection mechanism. And now it's time to honor her by letting her go. Releasing the old you requires forgiveness. Most importantly, forgiveness for yourself. There may be moments you regret, choices you wish you could erase, words you wish you hadn't said. But holding on to those regrets only keeps you chained to a version of yourself that is no longer who you are. Forgiveness is not about excusing the past. It's about freeing your future. It's about saying, I am not defined by my mistakes, but by what I do with them. This process also means shedding the beliefs that no longer serve you. You may have grown up hearing that you're not enough, that your dreams are too big, or that you should just settle for less. Those lies can stick to you like glue if you let them. But the old you believed those lies. The new you refuses to carry that weight. Releasing the old you means releasing the doubts, the fears, the insecurities that have kept you small. It means rewriting the story you tell yourself, one that honors your strength, your worth, and your capacity to rise. Letting go is not easy, it is messy. Sometimes it feels like ripping off a part of your skin, exposing rawness that feels vulnerable and scary. But vulnerability is where growth lives. When you let go of the old you, you make room for healing. You make room for joy. You make room for a life that feels lighter, freer, and more authentic. You don't have to carry the pain or the baggage from the past into your future. That doesn't mean forgetting or pretending the hurt never happened. It means choosing to not let those things hold the steering wheel of your life any longer. You have permission to close the chapter on what no longer serves you, so you can open the door to what awaits you. This also means releasing toxic relationships that keep you tethered to old versions of yourself. People who don't celebrate your growth, who don't support your healing, who try to pull you back into old patterns. They don't deserve a place in your life anymore. Letting go of people can be one of the hardest parts of releasing the old you, but sometimes it's necessary. You cannot keep walking forward with anchors tied to your feet. Your peace, your growth, and your happiness are worth more than any toxic connection. Releasing the old you is also about releasing the need for control. Sometimes we hold on tightly to old parts of ourselves because they feel familiar, safe, or predictable, even if they hurt us. But growth asks you to surrender control, to trust the process, to have faith that something better is waiting on the other side. It's about stepping into the unknown with courage, knowing that you are enough to handle whatever comes your way. You might feel guilt for moving on or worry about what people will say when you change. But remember, you are not responsible for other people's opinions or discomfort with your growth. You are responsible for your own happiness, your own peace, and your own life. The people who love you will support your transformation. The ones who don't are not meant to be part of your new story. Releasing the old you means embracing grace, grace for yourself and for the journey. It means understanding that growth is not linear. You might stumble, you might fall back into old habits sometimes, but that doesn't mean you've failed. It means you're human. Be gentle with yourself as you navigate this process. Celebrate every small step forward and don't be discouraged by setbacks. This is a process of becoming, not perfection. The old you was part of your past, but you are in the process of becoming the woman you were always meant to be. Stronger, wiser, more compassionate, more courageous. Every time you release what no longer serves you, you step closer to that woman. Every time you say yes to yourself and no to what weighs you down, you claim your power. Releasing the old you also means being honest with yourself about who you want to be. It means envisioning your future and deciding that you will not be held back by the past. It means setting intentions for your life that reflect your true desires, not the fears or limitations you once believed. When you release the old you, you create space for your dreams to breathe and grow. It's important to remember that releasing the old you is a process, not a one-time event. Some days will feel easier than others. Some moments will test your resolve, but every day that you choose to let go a little more, you are reclaiming your life, you are rewriting your narrative, you are saying, I am not who I was yesterday, I am becoming who I am meant to be. As you release the old you, you begin to notice a lightness in your spirit. You start to feel more alive, more free, more aligned with your truth. You find peace in places that once felt heavy. You attract people and opportunities that reflect the new you. And you begin to realize that the past does not have the power to define your future unless you give it that power. So breathe deeply and know this. You are worthy of release. You are worthy of healing. You are worthy of stepping into a life that reflects your growth, your dreams, and your deepest desires. The old you served her purpose, but now it's time to set her free so you can soar. Stepping into your power boldly means showing up fully as yourself, without hesitation, without apology. It means no longer hiding in the shadows or dimming your light to make others comfortable. It means recognizing that your power is not something to be feared or hidden, but something to be embraced and celebrated. You have been refined by the fires of life, by the challenges, the losses, the victories, and now it's time to stand tall and claim the power that has always been inside you. Too often, we are taught to be small, to play it safe, to keep our voices low so we don't upset the balance. But living small is not your calling. You were made for more. Your power is not just for you. It is for the world around you. When you step into your power boldly, you become a light that others can't help but see. You become a force that inspires change, healing, and hope. Boldness is not about being reckless or loud. It's about being courageous in the face of fear. It's about making choices that align with your truth, even when it's hard. It's about speaking your mind and standing up for what you believe in, even if your voice shakes. Boldness is the quiet strength that refuses to be silenced by doubt or criticism. It's the courage to keep going when the road gets tough. When you step into your power, you stop waiting for permission. You stop looking for validation from others. You recognize that you are enough just as you are. You stop shrinking to fit into spaces that were never designed for you and start creating spaces where you can thrive. You own your gifts, your voice, your story, and you use them to move forward fearlessly. This kind of power comes from self-awareness and self-love. It comes from knowing your worth and refusing to settle for anything less than what you deserve. It means being honest with yourself about your strengths and your areas for growth, and embracing both with grace. It means giving yourself permission to dream big and to pursue those dreams relentlessly. Stepping into your power boldly also means embracing your voice. Your voice is your weapon against fear, doubt, and oppression. It carries your truth, your wisdom, and your experience. When you speak boldly, you challenge the narratives that have kept you small. You inspire others to find their own voices. You create change, not just for yourself, but for your community, your family, and beyond. Boldness is also about resilience. It's about falling down and getting back up again, stronger every time. It's about refusing to let setbacks define you or stop you. It's about seeing obstacles as opportunities to learn and grow. When you step into your power, you build a foundation of strength that can weather any storm. Sometimes stepping into your power means stepping outside of your comfort zone. It means taking risks, trying new things, and trusting yourself enough to know that even if you fail, you will rise again. It means embracing uncertainty with faith that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. This kind of boldness requires vulnerability, and vulnerability is the birthplace of authenticity and connection. When you live boldly, you attract people who respect and uplift you. You surround yourself with those who celebrate your growth and encourage your dreams. You create a community of support that fuels your fire instead of extinguishing it. Boldness draws like-minded souls who believe in the power of transformation and the beauty of authenticity. Stepping into your power boldly also means setting boundaries that protect your energy and your peace. It means saying no to things that drain you and yes to things that nourish your soul. It means knowing that your time, your emotions, and your well-being are valuable. When you honor yourself this way, you create space for your power to grow and flourish. Boldness is a daily practice. It's the small decisions you make every day to stand up for yourself, to choose hope over fear, and to keep moving forward. It's the commitment to living intentionally and with purpose. It's waking up each morning and deciding that you will not let anything or anyone dim your light. There will be moments when stepping into your power feels scary or overwhelming. There will be times when doubt creeps in and tries to convince you to step back. But remember, fear is not the absence of power, it's the invitation to claim it. When you move forward despite fear, you show the world the depth of your courage and the strength of your spirit. Your power is unique to you. It is shaped by your experiences, your values, and your dreams. No one else has your combination of gifts, your story, or your voice. When you step into your power boldly, you honor that uniqueness. You stop comparing yourself to others and start celebrating your own journey. You recognize that your power is not in competition with anyone else's, but is a contribution to the collective strength of women rising together. Living boldly also means forgiving yourself when you stumble. It means understanding that growth is a process and that perfection is not the goal. It means showing up every day with intention, even when it's hard, even when you feel tired. It means trusting that your efforts matter and that your presence makes a difference. Stepping into your power boldly means embracing your role as a leader, not just in the traditional sense, but as a leader of your own life. You take responsibility for your choices, your emotions, and your future. You no longer wait for someone else to rescue you or to give you the green light. You are your own heroine. You chart your own course. You lead with courage, compassion, and conviction. This power also calls you to lift others as you rise. When you step into your power boldly, you create space for others to do the same. You become a source of encouragement, inspiration, and strength for those around you. You share your story not just to celebrate your own victories, but to remind others that they too can step into their power. Boldness is contagious. When you live boldly, you inspire a ripple effect of courage and empowerment. You show others what's possible when you refuse to settle, when you refuse to be silenced, and when you choose to live authentically. Your boldness lights a path for those who are still finding their way. To step into your power boldly is to embrace the fullness of who you are, the light and the shadow, the strength and the vulnerability, the past and the future. It is to walk with confidence, purpose, and grace. It is to say yes to your life and all the possibilities it holds. So, lean into that power, own it, live it unapologetically, because when you do, you not only transform your own life, you transform the world around you. So, girl, fix your crown, because you are not who you used to be. You have grown through storms, you have learned your worth, you have released what no longer serves you, and now you stand ready to step into your power boldly. This is your moment to rise, fully, fiercely, unapologetically. Remember, your crown isn't just a symbol of who you are, it's a declaration of who you're becoming. Embrace your journey, honor your strength, and keep walking forward with the confidence that the best version of you is unfolding every single day. You were made for greatness, and the world is waiting to see you shine.